So a little bit about our school policy here at Horizons Refugee Families. When it comes to our adult pre-literate education, we have moved our classes into the public school system, into Tucson Unified School District, so that parents are able to experience a positive formal school experience here where their kids are going to school, and therefore get accustomed to that environment and feel very comfortable in it, so that they're able to visit campus more often, hopefully learn about the kids' grades and keep up on the kids' educational improvements or lack thereof, and be a part of their kids' educational lives while learning themselves. So it's a great model. I suggest it for any refugee adult education program, for them to be able to get a formal education experience along with participation in their kids' educational experience. So it's kind of a way to kill two issues with one stone, and it's worked really well for us. So we generally have a class of at least 5 students up to 25, and ideally 2 or 3 teachers at least on each site. So you won't be working alone, you'll be working in a group setting, and there's a designated lead and then designated assistants for certain levels. Most of the time, an adult pre-literate refugee education class is always going to be multi-level. This is just the nature of the beast, and so you have to be prepared to come with materials for a few different levels. And the curriculum that Horizons has written addresses all of the 4 main levels, or really 3 main levels. It's kindergarten to 1st grade, 1st to 2nd grade, and 2nd to 3rd grade. So you're going to be hitting in one of those marks. If a student is outside of any of those levels, is more advanced, then we can refer them to other ESL programs around Tucson, and there are definitely plenty of those to meet their needs if they are more advanced. The major gap comes for the pre-literate students who don't know how to read or write in their own language. And you can see another video about pre-literacy to really understand the true definition of that meaning. But when you're working with your students, you want to be aware of their PTSD, their psychological issues, especially refugee women. They've experienced a lot of really horrible things in their life. And so if you're a male teacher, you want to be aware of your presence, your energy, and how you want to be always placing distance between you and the student, if they're a female student especially, so that you're making them feel comfortable and not presenting any threat. If you're a female teacher, it's not usually so much of an issue, but you still want to be very aware of how you dress. A lot of refugees are Muslim, and so they definitely have certain beliefs about the way females should dress, and I always encourage volunteers to be aware of that. And if you're going to wear anything, wear it past the knee so that it's covering most of your leg, and also have something covering your arms so that you're not revealing too much skin. It's just going to create less of a barrier between you and the population you're serving, and just make everyone more comfortable in your presence. The males, it's not so big of an issue. It's just realizing the boundaries, and definitely not engaging in any behavior that would be considered threatening. So those are a few things to take into consideration. You're also going to want to understand that it takes time and a lot of patience to learn these concepts. Literacy is a huge hurdle at the age that they're at. So you want to always come with an open and flexible mind to your classes. If you are having any issues, if you are noticing any health issues, behavioral issues, or signs of neglect or abuse, you want to report that to me immediately, by phone ideally, or email, and I will take the appropriate steps necessary to make sure that everything is handled in a legal and appropriate manner. It's not your job to follow through on that, it's my job. Your job is simply to report anything that you notice out of the ordinary to me, and you'll be doing that through encounter forms after each class session, and you'll be getting that form online in your email, and you'll be expected to turn in your attendance for that day and write down any questions, comments, or concerns that you might have from that session. So it's a way for me to keep record of how you're doing, how the students are doing, and any feedback you might have. And in a way, it's a sort of online diary that you can keep, that I can look at, so that you can kind of see. Sometimes you don't realize successes or discouragements that you might have experienced that day in the classroom until you sit down and write it down. So it's a really good practice, and all of my volunteers are required to participate in that recording.